Hello and welcome back to the Rodriguez Retrospective. And today, I know it's been a fucking year. I mean, these videos don't get any views. I think my Eldris from Dustin Harvey's got like 4 views. So I'm just gonna continue with The Faculty from 1998. Now this is a weird movie for Rodriguez. This is a weird time in his career. He was got from El Mariachi to movie for 7,000. Then he got his first studio hit, Desperado. Then he had a mile hit with From Dusk Till Dawn. Then he was hired to direct a film, which at the time was crazy because Rodriguez was kind of a hot name, but he wasn't really someone you think would direct a movie that he didn't write. It was actually written by Kevin Williamson, who wrote the Scream movies, and has a very sarcastic sense of humor and dialogue, and very similar to Scream. Now this movie is by Miramax. It was executive produced by Harvey Weinstein. Let's try to forget that. But Rodriguez did have a director credit and editing credit, so he has some control over this movie, way more than he did with his other second director for hire project, which was Alita. Pretty much every movie he does, he pretty much produces, writes music, and does pretty much everything. Here he just directs and edits, but it really has this doesn't feel like a Rodriguez movie, especially a 90s Rodriguez movie, which is funny enough, this is the last one he directed in the 90s before, I think, Spy Kids in 2001. And then after that, Spy Kids movie, then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Once Upon a Time in Mexico. And I think after this movie, we get a new Rodriguez, who wants to shoot mostly on digital. He loves his own visual effects. This movie had effects by K&B, who worked on For No Still Dawn, but there's mostly a lot of computer effects. This is the first Rodgers movie, I think, since, no, Desperado did. Rodriguez movies have a lot of nudity after El Mariachi. El Mariachi is like the only movie that doesn't have any nudity. I know Desperado has that really expensive sex scene. For us, on 6 minutes strip club, and this has a scene at the end with quite a bit of nudity. So, what is the plot of the movie? The plot of the movie is a high school, the faculty, like the name of the movie, is being taken over by a parasitic alien, and it's up to this group of teenagers to stop it. And they reference a lot of emission of body snatchers. They know what they're pretty ripping off. This is post-Scream horror, so there's a lot of, this movie's like this movie, or this movie's like that movie. And Robert Patrick's in this movie, who's great. I think that's his name, Robert Patrick. He's the main bad guy of Terminator 2, and he's great in this as a coach who is like one of the people who's infecting everybody. So the whole faculty is infected, they're infecting the students, and they figure out, there's a fun scene where they show each other that they're not aliens because they can't take this drug that one of the characters makes. It's got like caffeine in it and need a lot of water. So they take the drug and all get high to show each other, to prove each other not aliens. And there's a twist in the movie which I think the more I watch it, the more I watched it once, the more I think about it actually, it makes a lot of sense, and it's a little very in your face, but they don't really reveal it. But they play their hand pretty well. The movie also stars Elijah Wood, and one of his first movie with Rodriguez. He will later be in Spy Kids 3 and Sin City. But yes, this movie is a lot of fun. I think what the thing about Rodriguez is this movie doesn't feel like a Rodriguez movie, like I said before. It feels like it's a different writers, feel like a different producer. Because he usually produces movies. It's actually produced by his wife, which is weird because it's actually by Harvey Weinstein. I don't know his wife ever. And because it's Weinstein, but let's not talk about that too much. But no, Rodriguez. I mean, I was talking about to this Jim Gizerell, who's a friend of mine. Well, I consider him a friend. We just talk on Skype, and I support him on Patreon. And I show him my videos. He gives me comments, so I consider him somewhat of a friend, more of an acquaintance, but more than that. Anyway, so Jim is like, I asked him, what do you think people thought when they said Rodriguez should direct this, Kevin Williamson written script? And Jim said, well, the thing is, he works fast and cheap, and he said it's not an insult to him. He just works fast and cheap, which is what people want to work with him. I'm sure he probably didn't work fast and cheap on Alita. Alita took a while to develop, and it actually got postponed from its 2018 release to 2019 release. But this movie was like 90s Rodriguez, who was very fast and cheap, and I think Jim was right. I mean, this movie, a lot of special effects were kind of wonky, but it looked like they actually took time on them for the most part. I really like Elijah Wood in this movie. He plays the Gookie teen, which he's pretty good at. He's a good weeby guy, but he's pretty good as a lead. There's other people, I don't remember their names, but the guy who plays Zeke is really good. Zeke is like it is like a very smart person who doesn't like to show his smartness. He's like really cool, but he's slacker. He sells drugs, and he's actually one who buys the drugs. He gets the drugs. He makes the drugs that they use to fight the aliens. Uh, there's also a girl named Storky, yeah. Well, she's the one who brings up my bar snatcher. There's the new girl, Mary Beth, who's the new girl, and there's also Stan, who's the jock, who doesn't want to be a jock anymore. And these aliens kind of get to their emotions, like, you don't want to be a jock, you don't want to be a dicky. Please, join us and you'll be something more. And that's kind of how they try to get people, but they usually just forcefully and such. Salma Hayek has a small role. Chris McDonald's Jon Stewart's in this movie as an actor, as a professor, who Elijah Wood brings the sample of the parasite to him, and they kind of just see it and they try to see what it is. And Jon Stewart's like, "You want to find a new species," which he did. But yeah, there's a lot of fun moments. I mean, this is a Rodriguez movie, so it's a really cool, fast-paced movie. I mean, this is probably more a Rodriguez movie than Alita was. He has more of a voice in this because I think also he edited the movie, so it's a nice flow to it. And I think he gave a good direction. It just doesn't feel like a 90s Rodriguez movie because, there's El Mariachi, there's fucking Desperado, got that cool, really cool action movies. This is more of a horror movie. This is Rodriguez's first horror movie. He has directed 3, I believe, Faculty from the... I'm sorry. This is his second horror movie. I am like all jittery today. I'm all fucked up. Sorry, I worked like a 9. I worked a lot. I worked a bunch of hours yesterday and I worked today, so please forgive me. I spent an hour and a half fucking cleaning windows. Like, it's crazy. I work at Brahms. If you don't know, it's good. Ice cream and burger shop in Texas. At least I know in Texas. Anyway, so this is his second horror movie. He has 3 of them. Russell Dawn, this movie, and Planet Terror. If you consider that horror, I consider it horror because it's like a zombie movie, but it's not very scary. This is probably his more straightforward horror movie. Like, From Dusk Till Dawn starts off as a crime thriller and then it turns to a horror movie. Planet Terror is like a B movie, horror movie with zombies, but this is the most like horror movie. Like, it's like there's real peril and the characters are in real danger, and you don't know who's gonna turn into an alien, don't know this or you don't know that. Characters turn to aliens, it's crazy. The script by Ken Williamson is very Ken Williamson. It's very smart alecky, but that's goes to show. I mean, this is post-Scream horror, which is not my favorite genre era horror. I much prefer the 80s, 70s, and early 90s horror. Like, From Dusk Till Dawn is my favorite horror movie, 1996. Fuck Scream. 1996 best horror movies, From Dusk Till Dawn, that's for sure. I know Scream reinvented the genre, but From Dusk Till Dawn is just a much more fun movie. But yeah, so I believe this is a good addition to Rodriguez's filmography. Hopefully, I will continue with Retrospective, and you'll keep watching. I have a movie coming out soon. I'll be on the lookout for that.